Hello, music lovers. Thank you so much for dropping by. I thought I would go over the set list that Journey's chosen for their new summer tour. Just got kicked off a little bit ago in Hartford, Connecticut. It's a co-headliner with Def Leppard. And I just did a review of the Def Leppard set. I'll put a link for that up above. But Journey, it's good to see them back out there. Things have been kind of dicey in that camp lately. There's been some bad vibes going on between guitarist Neal Schon and keyboardist Cain. Some stuff that Cain said on Twitter didn't really rub Neal the right way, and they haven't been speaking. And it's just a weird kind of vibe going on. There's been rumors that this might be their last tour with this particular lineup. Who knows what's going on? Cain's married to a televangelist now, so it's like, I don't know what the hell is going on. But good to see them out there. They sound good when they do play. And, they got Arnel, who is just an amazing singer. He's really proven himself. When I first heard of him and everything, I was like, I don't know, is Journey really going to go with a tribute singer? Like, I know that that's where bands tend to get singers, is because they're already familiar with the territory, and they sound close to the real thing, so why not go fishing in those waters? But Arnel, he sounds so much like Steve that you could close your eyes and there's moments where you really think it is Steve Perry out there singing. And so, Journey didn't go the path of some bands like Van Halen or, AC/DC, where they take off with a different singer and they make something completely different and successful too. That's not the case. The other way that a band goes when they get a new singer is they get somebody that sounds like the old guy, and they just try to be like a nostalgia act and, go over the old catalog and play the hits, and that seems to be what Journey's doing. Now, I got to give them credit. They have played albums, they've played full albums, and they do like to throw in deep cuts. There's even one in this set. So I got to give them credit for that. They've definitely done a good job, as like Foreigner, of getting a really good quality singer that captures audiences and wins their hearts. That's very, very big. And Arnel has been doing that. Got to give him props. But let's get to the set list. That's what this video is about. Okay, so they start the show with Separate Ways from the Frontiers album. Always loved that song. The video, remember that one? Cheesy as hell. It's often been called the worst video ever. I don't think it's that bad, but you may recall that's where they do like air drums and guitar and keyboards, and they kind of look like the kids that are in their rooms listening to this stuff. Be Good to Yourself is number 2 from Raised on Radio. Always loved that song. Real upbeat, just, especially get in the car, crank it. Only the Young. Love that song. Love that song. I mean, there's so much with this song. I mean, it was one of those supposed to be on the Frontiers album. Imagine if the album had this song. But they didn't put it on there. It was later on a soundtrack to a movie called Vision Quest. And it also was sold to the band Scandal. Remember that band with Patti Smythe and The Warrior and Goodbye to You? Well, they recorded this song on the Warrior album. Never did anything, but they actually had to be paid by Journey when they decided to go ahead and, put it out there. Apparently some kind of a contract thing going on, but always love that. Then there's the story about the kid with cancer who he loved Journey, and they gave him a copy of this song that hadn't been out there. No one had ever heard it, and they gave it to him in the Walkman, and he passed away with the headphones on. I mean, Cain was crying about it and behind the music. It's a real, there's so much meat on that bone with Only the Young. Okay, now we get to a Neal Schon solo. I mean, this is 4 songs in. This is the 4th slot. And I'm never really a big fan of solos, unless, you've got something really, really special. Neil Peart of Rush, his drum solos are epic. They're a show within a show. Steve Smith even does a bit of a solo. He's a great drummer. Love him. Just not big on solo spots because I think they take away from the time. You can put another song in there. I mean, if you take all the solo shit out of here, you could squeeze another classic. Then we get to Stone in Love. Always loved that song too. Great riff, just a lot of power. The melody's great. And let's see, Any Way You Want It. Remember that one? Love that song too. One of my fondest memories of that is from the movie Caddyshack, where Rodney Dangerfield is on the golf course and he's got a radio built into his golf bag and he cranks it up and he pisses off everybody. It was an awesome product placement there, guys. Then they do Lights. Great song, classic FM staple there. And, it's one of those songs that started off a little bit differently. It was originally about L.A., when the light shines on L.A. is what it was supposed to say. But, he changed it to talk about San Francisco, so went with the Bay. And it's a beautiful song. And, of course, they're always going to be playing that one. Then we get to another solo. This time, Jonathan Cain doing a piano solo. Like, we need to see that. Open Arms is next. One of the best ballads, best power ballads out there. I mean, this is what the hair bands were basing their stuff on. We're looking back to this stuff that worked, but it didn't work in a cheesy way. Who's Crying Now comes after that. Always loved the guitar solo towards the end. Neal Schon, that's got to be one of the best solos he's ever done. And it's just probably among the best in a pop song, I think. Just really, really good. After that, they do Chain Reaction. Now, that's one of my favorites. Love Chain Reaction from the Frontiers album. Also, they do La Duda from the Infinity album. That's a deep cut there, folks. Good to see that. So then after La Duda, we get a Steve Smith drum solo, followed by a second Neal Schon guitar solo. It's just like, come on, dudes, we can put another song. How about La Raza? Remember that one? Love that song, but it's not in here. Wheel in the Sky. So then they do Faithfully, which is, of course, a beautiful song written by Jonathan Cain. It was about, being on the road, away from your family, and all the stress that comes from that. And unfortunately, he got divorced after that song came out. Don't Stop Believin' is what they end the show with. What can I tell you? 7 million copies sold, the most downloaded song in rock ever. They own that one. And so they end the show on that one. Lovin', Touchin', Squeezin is the encore, and they're out. So I think overall, one of these. It's a good set. Really good set. The cons, I would say, is, too many solos. Get that shit out. Put in a song or two. And one of the other cons is that it's not any different from the tour they did last year. But a pro is that one difference is Chain Reaction, which, by the way, is Joe Elliott's favorite song, the lead singer from Def Leppard. He was talking about in an interview how, he recommended to Neal that they do that song. So maybe that's why it's in there. I don't know. But what do you think? What do you think about this set list? You going to go see this show? What do you think's going on between, Neal and Jon? What the hell is going on there? Put it down below. Give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Be sure to subscribe, and I will talk to you later.